The bitter feud between Whisper and Mimik has finally reached its inevitable climax, one that guarantees only a single survivor. In the previous issue, Mimik had been silently observing Whisper from the shadows, noting her apparent carelessness as she is unguarded and exposed. Now, the confrontation inches closer, as the latest issue opens mere moments later with Cream unexpectedly crossing paths with Whisper. Whisper invites Cream to join her, but something is off. Beneath Whisper's composed exterior lies a sharpened instinct, and her eyes narrow with suspicion. She begins to press Cream about Cheese's whereabouts and refers to her mother, Vanilla, by the wrong name, Tapioca. Mimik's deception never truly stood a chance. In fact, it was over before it began. Whisper knows him, his methods, his arrogance, all of his flaws. Mimik stumbles trying to maintain the act, but Whisper dismantles it piece by piece, revealing the tiny missteps that betrayed him. Now, Adam Bryce Thomas delivers one of the most haunting visuals in Sonic's entire history. Mimik shedding Cream's innocent likeness and reverting to his true, sinister form. The transformation is deeply unsettling, made even more jarring by the stark contrast between the sweet and gentle nature of Cream and the manipulative darkness of Mimik. That dynamic of innocence and malevolence makes the panel very compelling. As always, Mimik attempts to chip away at Whisper's resolve, dredging up the ghosts of their fallen team. But Whisper isn't the same broken soldier he once knew. Whisper cuts him off, reminding Mimik that he betrayed them. Mimik deflects, justifying his actions with the hollow excuse that survival demanded sacrifice. He then plays at Whisper's deepest wound, as he threatens the friends that she's come to cherish, labeling them as weaknesses. It's a fear that Whisper has carried for a long time, losing those she dares to care for. The pain of her original team's death scarred her so deeply that she nearly chose solitude over ever risking connection again. But over time, through the bonds that she's forged with new allies, she's begun to heal. Whisper has learned that love and friendship aren't vulnerabilities, they're strengths. You can't live in fear of loss. Where Whisper has grown, Mimik remains trapped in his cynicism. To him, relationships are liabilities that drag you down. His worldview is shaped by betrayal and self-preservation, rendering him blind to the resilience and beauty that comes from trust. The difference between them has never been clearer. One is shaped by love, and the other by fear. Mimik tries messing with Whisper more, stating that despite their long-standing animosity, he respects that Whisper understands the value of solitude. He claims that it was her isolation that allowed her to survive when the other Diamond Cutters fell. She lived, but only because she stayed behind and didn't have her team's back. Once, words like these would have shattered Whisper. The old Whisper might have lashed out in rage, consumed by guilt and grief. But the woman before Mimik now is different. Still scarred, yeah, but more mature. The anger is there, simmering beneath the surface, but it no longer controls her. She doesn't need to prove herself to Mimik. She's here to finish what should have ended a long time ago. Her calm demeanor is a testament to how far she's come. Whisper has grown from someone paralyzed by fear and haunted by loss into someone who finally understands that true strength lies not in pushing others away, but embracing those who stand beside you. And because of this, she's no longer afraid of Mimik. She's no longer running from her past. She's ready to move beyond it. Mimik knows that most of her new allies would rather let go of the past and choose peace, but he and Whisper are bound by something that demands resolution. This feud can only end one way. As he prepares to strike, he mocks her apparent vulnerability, recalling how she lured him out, alone and unarmed. But before he can make his move, Silver intervenes, as this was all a part of Whisper's plan, no longer going at things alone, and instead using the strength of her friends. Mimik is furious, seeing her friends as nothing more than a crutch, but Whisper tells him, you can't do everything alone. It's a lesson that took her a long time to learn, and one that Mimik may never understand. Furious and cornered, Mimik unleashes his core gear, an experimental tool gifted to him by the late Dr. Starline. In an instant, he bursts free from Silver's control, tearing through the ravine at breakneck speed. But he doesn't disappear unnoticed. Tangle catches a glimpse of him ducking into a nearby market, his form shifting yet again, this time into Barry from the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Amid the busy crowd, Whisper and her Wisp companions maneuver carefully. They nearly pass Mimik until the green Wisp spots him just as he draws his blade to strike, but before he can make a move, the Wisp lifts him high into the air, suspending him just long enough for Silver to snatch him once again. Desperate and unwilling to lose, Mimik takes one last gamble. He hurls himself over the edge of the ravine, but Tangle isn't going to let him slink away into the shadows again. She leaps after him without hesitation, refusing to let the monster who's haunted her friends escape. She catches him mid-fall and hurls him with all her might back towards solid ground. As Mimik stumbles to his feet, Tangle attacks. Blow after blow rains down on him as she shouts that he doesn't get to speak, not after everything he's done to her friends. Cornered and seething, Mimik transforms again, this time into a towering orange yeti, similar to the ones from Sonic Lost World. Startled by the beast, Tangle backs away, only to lose her footing on the ravine's edge. As she begins to fall, Silver and Whisper arrive. Silver reacts in an instant, catching her, while Whisper proceeds to attack her old nemesis. Whisper fights with everything she's learned, every scar she carries fueling her strikes. Blasts from her Wispin cut through the chaos, and when Mimik finally collapses, battered and broken, Whisper stands over him. Weapon drawn, the barrel of her Wispin aimed squarely at his head. Tangle is horrified. She begs Silver to let her down, to stop her friend from crossing the line that she can't return from, but Silver has nowhere to land. Whisper charges her Wispin, prepared to end it, but in a final desperate act, Mimik draws his blade and plunges it into his core gear. The device overloads, erupting in a violent explosion that engulfs both of them and sends their bodies plummeting into the depths of the ravine. From above, Tangle's heart stops. She screams for Silver to let her go and dives without hesitation after her friend. Silver, however, has to stay focused in order to catch the falling debris to save the citizens below. Tangle grabs hold of Whisper mid-fall and uses Whisper's own Wispin to slow their descent, guiding them safely to the ground. Mimik's mangled form, however, splashes into the depths of the ravine. Once on solid ground, Tangle rushes to Whisper's side, bracing for the worst, but instead, she finds her friend overwhelmed with emotion. Whisper is crying, but for the first time, they're not tears of sorrow, they're tears of relief. It's over. Hugging her Wisps, she calls out the names of the fallen diamond cutters. The weight of years spent running, fighting, grieving, it finally lifts, and in its place is peace. Tangle turns to Silver, offering a heartfelt thanks for his help, still processing the fact that Mimik chose self-destruction over surrender. In a way, it was a final act of control for him. Whisper looks to her friends, Tangle, Silver, and her Wisps, and for the first time in a long while, she seems at peace. The past no longer haunts her, it's behind her now. This battle was one that many of us have been looking forward to, the long and heated feud between Mimik and Whisper finally reaching its explosive climax. What stands out the most is how much Whisper has grown since their earliest encounters. She no longer sees friendship as a vulnerability, but as unbreakable strength. It's through leaning on her friends that she found the power to finally defeat Mimik. But this leaves us with the question, is Mimik truly gone? He was always a survivor and a coward willing to do whatever it took to live. So for him to take his own life feels strangely out of character in my opinion. It's always possible that he could have somehow survived the blast, but only time will tell. I've always appreciated Mimik as a character because his cynicism is a stark contrast to the hopeful ideals that many others in the world of Sonic hold. Yet over time, he felt somewhat stagnant. His character never really developed, which is fine, but coupled alongside his endless feud with Whisper, he grew kind of tiresome. All in all, this issue was thrilling and it brought closure to their rivalry. So let me know what you guys thought, drop your thoughts in the comments below, I'd love to hear your take, and as always, I'm wishing you all the best, take care, peace.